Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Friday, June 25th, 2021. We are in the final day of the trading week, and we are on the final hour of the trading day. The final hour is my favorite time to make my buying and selling decisions for my swing trades, because at the end of the day, the large financial institutions come in, they're dealing with the most money, very smart people, best information, best technology, and they take control away from the they take the control of the price away from the day traders and the algorithms, and they move it to what, in my opinion, is the most valid price to make your buying and selling decisions from, based upon what levels the prices are closing at. You always see, well, not always, but more times than not, you see the market move at the end of the day, and that is the large financial institutions taking control away from the day traders and the algorithm. So that is why I make my buying and selling decisions at the end of the day, and it frees up your whole day. You don't have to sit in front of the computer. So thank you all for coming today, everyone. Appreciate it. Always nice to see everyone. Appreciate you spending your time here. Hope that by spending your time and investing your time here, it is helping you with your trading and your investing. So currently the Dow is up 250 points, up about 0.37%. The NASDAQ is up slightly, up 13 points, up 0.09%, and the S&P is up 16 points, up 0.38%. So here is the plan for today. First of all, we are going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back, take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, and how I'm going to manage them going forward. I did have one day trade today on VIX that I will share with you. After that, we're going to go over to the board. We're going to take a look at my students' positions. We're going to go through each one, see how those are doing. I see kind of a mixed bag over there, but more green than red. After that, we're going to talk about trader psychology, my favorite part of the day. I think the most important part of trading, I mean, for sure, the most important skill you can ever learn in trading is the skill of patience and following your plan. So psychology is hugely important in trading. It really is everything when you come down to it. It is following your plan, sticking with your plan, being disciplined, controlling your emotions. So very important skill. If you find yourself not following your plan, then you need to work on that. You have some work to do. So hopefully by talking about this every day, one day you'll hear it in just the right way, and it will resonate with you, and you'll make it part of your trading. After that, I have gone down through my watch list. I have gone down through the results of Kamal's scanner. I have 3 requirements whenever I'm looking to enter a new trade. First, confluence, combination of indicators lining up on multiple time frames. Second, I need a good risk to reward ratio of 2 to 1. So I need to have valid, strong support below me. And then I need to do the math and take a look at what the most likely overhead resistance level, strong resistance level is going to be. And I have to make sure that if I'm risking 1,000 to the downside, I need to be able to make 2,000 or more to the upside to make that asymmetrical math work. And then lastly, please, regardless of whatever position you have, whatever entry signal you're going to use, make sure you have a complete plan in place before you hit that buy button. Are you measuring volatility? Do you know what your maximum allowed loss is? Do you know where your emergency stop is? Do you know where your end of day stop is? Do you know where your overhead resistance levels are? Do you know where your intraday profit targets are? And do you have a good scale trailing stop methodology in place so that if you have a profitable trade, you don't give it all back? So those are the 3 requirements. I do have some potential end of day candidates. Using those 3 requirements, I will go through each one, take a look at each one, look at the risk to rewards, look at the multiple time frames, look for the confluence of signals, and if I find something at the end of the day that makes sense, I will go ahead and purchase it before the market closes. After the market closes, if you have any questions, please let me know. If you need any clarification, please let me know. If you'd like me to take a look at any particular stock symbols, let me know. Put them in the chat, put an emoji by it so I know it's time sensitive, and I will do my best to get to it before the close of the market. And then lastly, as always, if my students have any new entries or exits for me today, if you could please wait till the market's closed before you tell me about them, so that the pressure's off and I'm done trading, done teaching, and then we'll spend as much time as we need to get those all updated correctly. Okay, so I'm going to hit I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I'll be back in about 40 seconds. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. Okie dokie. Excuse me. Let's see who's here today. Steve Burns is here. Good to see you, Steve. Always honor, privilege to have you here, sir. I feel that way every day. I'm sure everyone else does as well. Hope you, Holly, and the dogs are all doing well. Steve says, hello, traders. The weekend begins in less than 1 hour. Well, there you go. It does. So we have about an hour to go, a little less. Paxton is here. Good to see you, Packy. Hope you are doing well, my friend. Lova is here. Michael Wilkinson. Hi, everybody. Good to see you, Michael. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Johnson is here. Hi, Johnson. Hi, Greg and all. Hello, Johnson. Nice to see you. Jonathan is here. Evening, Greg and group. Hope you are feeling better. I am. Yeah, a little rough yesterday. I taught last night, but after the podcast, I went right to bed and I took a power nap for about 3 hours, which helped. But yeah, little weak today, but feeling much better. Thank you very much, Jonathan. David is here. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Dave. Hope you're doing well. Dan is here. Hi, Greg, everyone. Good to see you, Dan. Ava. Hello, Ava. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday to Ava. Kamal is here. Hey, buddy. Good to talk to you. Or good to see you. Appreciate everything that you do for this channel, Kamal. Really, really do. I'd be lost, I think, without your scanner. It's so great. Gary is here. Hello, Greg and group. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you as well, Gary. Hope you have a nice upcoming weekend. So, all right. Well, let's get to it. Blink. Tracy, Paxton, Jonathan, and myself did buy Blink. False breakout to the downside with a V2. Bought this at $39.91. Has moved up nicely ever since. Hit 2 profit targets today at $42.61. Another one at $43.72. It is up 1.88% on the day. And it is up 5.46% on the week. On the trade, excuse me. MasterCard, Jonathan, David, Gary, Lilia, and I did buy MasterCard back here at $367.72. Nice sideways motion in the value zone. We had the 520 trigger, 3 days of big up moves, up. Yesterday, I did sell half because it looked like it was going to close below the previous day's low, but it snuck up on me and did not close, but I did sell half yesterday along with Jonathan, Gary, and Lilia. Today it is up 0.62%. No profit targets yet today, but so far this particular trade is up 2.45%. SPY. I buy the SPY every day at the close. I hold it overnight. I sell it first thing the next morning. I did buy the SPY yesterday at the close at $425.10. Sold it today at $425.80. So made 70 cents on the overnight SPY trade. XLU. Bought XLU yesterday with this double rejection of the 200-day moving average. 2 days that it rejected it. Gave me a very good risk to reward ratio. I bought at 63.27. I'm in there along with Frank, Tracy, and Paxton. Today it is up nicely. Pretty nice move on XLU, up 0.9%. Did on the first day, did hit 1 profit target today at 63.64. Second one up here at 64. Have not hit that yet, but it's possible that we could get there. But anyway, up on the day and up 0.9% on the trade. Apps been a really nice trade. Lilia, Gary, and I. Anyone else? No. Did buy with this false breakout to the downside. V2 bought at 71.63. Had 2 huge, strong, monster up days. It is down just a little bit today. Well, not a little bit. It's down 1.85%. But this trade so far from entry to current price up 8.12%. It has reached a 65 RSI level, meaning that if we close below the 5 EMA, that will be my trigger to get out of everything. CMG, another really, really nice trade. Kamal, David, and I did buy CMG with a intraday rejection of the 250-day moving average. Bought it at 1343.05. Moved 1.5 ATRs from entry. Then we had a close below the previous day's low. I did sell, took half profits at around, I don't know, 1371. Then we've had this other huge up leg move, just up, 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 up. Did hit another profit target today at 1501. We're to 73.99. I'm waiting for intraday, or I'm waiting for a rejection or close below the 30 RSI. At 70 RSI, this particular trade from entry to current price up 10.86%. So that's been a monster. Twitter has been another monster. Did buy Twitter all the way back here at 52.58. Close under, close over the 200-day moving average. Moved up nicely, moved more than 1.5 ATRs, closed below the previous day's low. Took half profits at 57.58, but I'm sure glad I took the other half. Here on this day, we rejected the 70 RSI. I did get out of a half there, and we are down a little bit today. No profit targets, but all in all, entry to current price on this trade about 22.68%. So that's been a monster. Let me take you down to my weekly trades. We haven't talked about weeklies. I only talk about those on Friday. AGQ, bought AGQ with Gary a few months ago with false breakout to the downside. V2, close under, close back over the 50 at 43.96, moved up, lost the 50 RSI, sold half at 45.90. Moved up nicely for the next month, scaled out of profits as it went up, as I do. Then last week we had a huge down bar. It did move more than 1.5 ATRs from entry. It is still holding above my entry price here. Right now, I have this at break even. If it heads back up, fantastic. But if it gets down to break even, I will get out on that last quarter at break even here. So this trade is up. I mean, it's up more than this because where I took profits, but so far this trade up 4.54%, even with that big move down. DoorDash has been a really great trade. Tracy Paxton and I did buy DoorDash. We had this false breakout to the downside. We had a V1. We had a retest of the -1 ATR channel, bought it at 137.48. The next week it went above 50 and below 50. I took half off at 149.91. And the last month it has just rocketed skywards. Did hit one profit target this week at 178.57. This particular trade from entry to closing price here up 24%. PKI I did buy on the weekly here at 140.80. Bullish engulfing bar and a V20. Took some profits. Now it's finally got to my trailing stop level, so now I'll go into trailing stop mode. Is up 1.32% this week, and this particular trade from entry to current price up 7.43%. Really good. VIX, I bought VIX last week on the weekly with the under 30, over 30. I bought it at 33.91. It's currently 29.37. It's down 15% this week. So it does look likely that this is going to close under the 30 RSI. That's my end of week stop. So if it does, I will have to get out. But all in all, the weekly trades have been pretty dang good. Let me take you over to the intraday trade that I had on the day trade on the VIX. This was earlier in the morning. Right here, we had this this is the opening bar of the day. We had this big up bar, whoosh, all the way up, came down. I took a stab at it here when it got to halfway of the washout bar. I bought it 29.67 on this bar here. Big up bar, held the halfway, bounced off the 20, bought it here at 29.67. Next bar moved up nicely. I took profits, half profits at 29.78. Had another up bar, took profits at 29.84. then had a close below the previous day's low at 29.72, and then the last eighth of the position, when it got back to break even, I just sold it at break even because it had moved 1.5 ATR. So got in at 29.67, out at 29.72, out at 29.78, and out at 29.84. So good little trade there. Okay. So let's go over and take a look at your trades, see how those are doing. TER. All right. We had Steve Burns buy TER yesterday with the 520 crossover, bought at 130.53. It's currently 130.33, down slightly today, down 0.21%, and down slightly on the trade. UPST. Tracy and Paxton bought UPST at 124.80. It's currently 121.60. It is down 1.47% on the day, and it is also down on the trade. Alibaba, we have Kamal, Steve Burns, and Gary are in Alibaba. Kamal got in at 213.87. Looks like this higher low V1. Steve Burns bought yesterday on the 520 crossover, bought at 218.40. It's up 3.14% today. So Steve's up on the trade, Kamal is up on the trade, and Gary's puts are doing well. The put spreads that he sold at $200, expiring July 16th, has to stay above $200 in order for Gary to bring in the premium on this. But very nice Steve Burns with the 520 crossover. Very nice Kamal with that higher low V2. All in all, everybody's up on the trade, so that's fantastic. Etsy. Jonathan bought Etsy with the 520 crossover here, bought it at 170.80. It's currently 184.83. It's up 1.82% today, and this particular trade is up 7.54%. Way to go, Jonathan. AB&B. Kamal bought AB&B here at 146.10. It's currently 149.51. It is down a little on the day, but Kamal is up on the trade. Tesla, Tracy and Paxton had a nice trade on Tesla with this 520 crossover, close above the 200-day moving average at 623.30. It's 671.91. It is down 1.15% today, but Tracy and Paxton are up 6.97%, which is great. SWKS, Steve Burns and Gary bought, and Tracy and Paxton bought the 520 crossover here on Skyworks. Nice, right here in the middle of the value zone, 171.04. It's up 1.12% today. And this looks like this is up 4.84%. Let's see how high we got on the bars today. 64.27 about is the high on the day from an RSI perspective. Boeing. Kamal bought Boeing here at 240.57. It is 249.60, down 0.39% today, but Kamal is up 3.67% on this trade, which is fantastic. ARKK, David bought ARKK with this close above the 200-day moving average at 118.40. It's currently 125, down 0.2% today, but the trade is up 5.3%, so that's great. Angie's List. Tracy and Paxton bought Angie's List with this bounce at the 200-day moving average. They bought it at 13.62. It's 14.27. It's up 2.81% just today, and this trade is up 4.62%. Wow. PKI, Steve Burns bought, or David bought PKI at 146.10 with a 520 crossover. Up nicely, is up a little bit today, had a big down day yesterday, but I believe David is up 3.95%, give or take. Chewy, Steve bought Chewy yesterday with the 1050 EMA crossover. He bought it here at 80.85. It's currently 80.22. It's down 0.5%. So it is down a little bit on the day and down a little bit on the trade. SCCO, Steve, under 30, over 30, bought at 61.52. It's currently 64.81. So this is up 1.81%. And this particular trade is up over 5%, 5.06%. Boot having another nice, beautiful day for Frank. Frank bought Boot here, 78.60. Looks like the breakout. It's 85.53. It's up 0.97%. This trade up over 8%. Way to go, Frank. Disney. Jonathan bought Disney with this bullish engulfing VAR V1, rejection of the -2 ATR channel, bought it at 173.98. It is up today 0.22% and up 2.48% on the trade. Rejected the 50-day moving average today, which might be interesting to look at. Gary bought True with this beautiful return to value sideways motion V2, bought this at 534. It's up 0.17% today, and this particular trade is up a nifty 8.4%. DKNG, David, Gary, and Kamal bought DKNG. On June 22nd, bought it at 50.10. It's 52.09. It's up 2.02% today. And this trade is up 3.92%. And it looks like we have a 520 crossover today, which might be interesting and helpful for the guys that are in this trade already. And then lastly, JD. Oof, regret not buying this one yesterday with the 520 crossover, but I'm glad Tracy and Paxton did. It's right here, bought it at 74.90. It's up 4.17% today. So monster big move up. Congratulations to Tracy and Paxton. So that looks like about it. Pretty good all in all. Lots of really good trades out there. I mean, unbelievably, really, really, really good trades. Okay. Frank is here. Good to see you, bud. Appreciate everything you do for this channel and this podcast, Frank. Love your poems. George is here. Hi, Greg and Gregorians. Hi, George. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you are doing well. Always nice to have you here. HCA. Ava would like to look at HCA. It's a higher low. It's a higher low. Well, actually, it's a V1. You might look at this and think it's a good V2 and a bad V1, but it's higher low. It held half of the big up bar here. Under 50, over 50. I like it. I actually like that a lot. The only thing that I would look for here, Ava, is right now we're at a 5061 RSI. I would want to make sure that it didn't lose the RSI level, but I do like this. I'm going to put this on my list. Let me do a little math here. And let me put that on the potential list. Okay, Cisco. It's a higher low situation here, but I don't see a clear trigger. I don't see, I mean, other than, you could use the 50-day. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly's halfway of the big down bar last week. I don't like that. Yeti. Yeah, 520 crossover, rejected the 1 ATR channel. I don't know if this back test well, Ava. Sorry, I know if I test this, it's not going to come up. We are kind of at halfway from the high move to the low move. I guess a little bit higher. It's okay. It seems a little chasey to me. Big bar last week. Moved quite a long ways to make the 520 crossover happen. George says, hi, Greg. What do you think about MAS? Sideways motion, 200 EMA rejection, almost a V1. I didn't went lower 1/4 than ATR than yesterday. RSI is 38.8. I like the weekly. I like how the weekly has rejected the 50. I like that on the weekly, but is there anything clear enough on the daily to buy this? It's a lower low V1. It is a double bottom with the bullish divergence. Here we have the low with the deep MACD bars. We did go red, green, came to red. I don't like the price action of the bar. We were much higher earlier and we've rejected. I don't think I'd buy that, to be honest with you. Maybe a retest of the 200. ATEC says, I'd like to thank whoever suggested JD yesterday. Yes. Do you have it, AT? Very good. Very, very good with that 520 crossover. Steve says, holy moly, Nike. Oh yeah, Nike was massive. It's up 15% today. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 sec. Let me grab something. Well, do you buy it up there? I guess not. I wouldn't buy that there. There's probably a lot of volatility in that. I mean, just by natural default, we could come back 7% to get it to halfway. Wow. Unbelievable. ATEC says it was, Paxton says it was Ava. Thank you again. Yes, thank you, Ava. That was lovely of you. And Paxton, excuse me, and Tracy also are thankful for that, I'm sure. Mamal says, yep, I have Beyond Meat on my list, Mamal, so I will go over that. That's definitely on my list. Frank has a poem for us. Let us see what the poem has to say to us today. Let me pipe that in. Don't fall prey to market chatter. Boy, that is a very true sentence. Don't fall prey to market chatter. What others do doesn't matter. Some love the spotlight of climbing Wall Street ladder and disappear just as quick when things fall apart and splatter. Yeah, I mean, that reminds me of Bitcoin at 65,000. Right? Lots of market chatter, lots of talk, lots of stories. I've said this before. The truth of the truth of what's going on is in the chart. It's not in the news and it's not in the stories, right? But Frank's 100% correct with this poem. Don't fall prey to market chatter. What others do doesn't matter. Some love the spotlight of climbing Wall Street ladder and disappear just as quick when things fall apart and splatter. That is true. You listen to CNBC, everyone's like, yeah, this is the best, this is great. And then when it goes down, silence, crickets, you know what I mean? And they disappear just like Frank says. That's a great poem, Frank. Excuse me. Boy, sorry. Trying to get my voice going here. Steve says oh, that was MasterCard that just hit a profit target. Sweet. I have a cool thing to show you today about Steve Burns. I'm going to share a link with you and share a web page with you. But I was really proud of Steve, and I think it's really, really great. And okay, that was MasterCard. But yes, Yeti does backtest well with the 520 crossover. I can't remember who asked that, but Steve just did the backtest. Thank you. George says my chart on MAS is different. Could come down to the fact that adjusting for dividends, I adjust for dividends and splits. Your charting software may not do that. Let's see. And that's usually if there's a discrepancy between your chart and my chart. If you on your charts, I like to adjust for dividends. I have a feeling that's probably what the issue is, George. Steve says, I don't know how you can come up with epic trading poems every day, Frank. You are on a high level. Unbelievable. I mean, I say this every day. I'm sorry. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's so freaking amazing. I mean, what a gift. They rhyme. They have proper sentence and poem structure. Like I would know what that is, but it seems like it. And they're just so pertinent, right? They're like just so pertinent and spot on. And not only just spot on in general, usually to the day and what's going on with the market. It's a gift. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's the best trading poems in the world. It really, really is. Thank you, Greg, Steve, and Dan. George says thanks. So listen, speaking of Steve Burns, I have a few things I want to share. But first of all, let's talk a little bit about trader psychology. Of course, this is from Steve Burns. You can find Steve Burns over on Twitter at @SJosephBurns on Twitter. Please follow him. If you're not, you're missing out on a lot of great information. You know, I feel so lucky to always have Steve here in the podcast. It's really a great honor. But let's read this post from quote from Steve Burns. Your first job as a trader is to focus on the correct trading process, not profits. Profits will eventually come if you focus on the right process. That's it, everybody. It's not that hard in theory. In practice, it's more difficult because you get emotions involved, but it's really true. We're risk managers. We need to focus on risk. We need to focus on our process. We need to come up with a good trading plan and focus on just executing the process, doing what you are supposed to do. If you do that, then the profits will come. If you don't focus on the profits, don't worry about, if you don't focus on your plan, don't worry about the profits because they won't be there. I promise you. But, Steve has been doing this so long, such a wealth of information. And this is really, when you distill it down, when you boil it all down, this is the best trading advice you can get. Your first job as a trader is to focus on the correct trading process, not profits. Profits will eventually come if you focus on the right process. So, you might say, well, I need a trading process. There are lots of trading processes out there. I trade 5 of them. I talk about them here all the time. There's thousands of different ways to trade. Just make sure you have a good risk to reward ratio. Make sure you have the potential for big wins, small wins, break-even trades, even small losses. Those are all fine. The math all works with that kind of process. But you just cannot have a process where you have large losses. That's what will screw you and mess you up each time. So, 1 second. Okay, so that's Steve. That is a great post, but I have some more stuff from Steve. Let's take a look at this. Look at this, everybody. This is Invez.com, top stock traders to follow on Twitter in 2021. So they have 47 different stock Twitter traders to follow. I'm going to give you the link here. Here's the link. Who do you think's number 1? You are right. It's Steve Burns. The number 1 top stock Twitter account to follow. Number 1, Steve Burns. At @SJosephBurns. Best for over 1,000 original articles on stock trading. Those are the articles Steve writes on stock trading. Shares on his website, newtraderu.com. About him, Steve Burns has been trading for nearly 2 decades and has used that experience to create the leading go-to resource for anyone who wants to learn how to do it. The vast blog archives at New Trader U is joined by a number of extensive courses and even a series of books on trading topics as well. And here's his website, newtraderu.com. Let me see if I can do this real quick. All right, and I'm going to post Steve's website there. Bam. But isn't that great, everybody? This whole article, number one, top one, is Steve Burns right here. So very proud of you, Steve. That is well-deserved. I shared the link there. Go by, take a look at that. But also, go to his website, newtraderu.com, where you can read those 1,000 articles, where you can get some of his online courses. Please read his books. You can find all of his books on Amazon. That's how I found Steve years ago. Very grateful that I did. And, feel very grateful to be friends with Steve and have had him as a coach and a mentor over all these years. Steve says Yeti, APPH, LEGR all have a 520 EMA crossovers. All right, so I have, oh no, that's a different one. All right, how are we doing on time? I feel like I'm going to be running a little late. Oh man, I've got so many things moving here. All right, so let's put Yeti. APPH. And what else do we have there, Steve? LEGR. Okay, so that's enough for us to look at. What do we have? We have about 23 minutes. Steve says, thanks, Greg. I was surprised to be number one on that side as well. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. It's well deserved. That was fantastic, Steve. Kamal says, nice one, Steve. 100%. Paxton says, thanks for all your knowledge and time, Steve. I 100% agree. Atex says, awesome, Steve. Love your Twitter feed. I do too. Kamal says, top trader to follow on YouTube. Gossett Trading Mentoring. Hey, thank you. Appreciate that, Kamal. Steve says, thanks. Mike says, hey, we know that guy. Frank says, not surprised, Steve. Congratulations. I agree. Paxton says, all of our mentors. Steve says, thanks, Atex. Jonathan says, we are lucky ducks that you guys share your knowledge. Steve says, thanks, Frank. I was surprised. I'm not surprised. Anybody surprised? My gosh, you put out the best stuff in the world. Okay, so listen, before we start looking at new stuff, of course, always important, take a look at current stuff, right? Blink, doing great. Don't really like this bar, to be honest with you. Rejected the highs over here, but is holding the -1 ATR channel. It looks a little bearish, but I tell you what, I'm going to sell half. I'm going to sell half of this. I don't like the false breakout to the upside and the big wick on the top there. So I will be selling half of my Blink today. MasterCard's doing great. It hit the one profit target there. Grateful for that. SPY, buying the overnight SPY trade again. Look at this. Nobody wants, everyone wants. I've been doing this for 25 years, everybody. I still don't understand this. Somebody explain this to me. Huge down move. Oh, no, sorry, we're wrong. Going the other way. It's unreal. XLU doing really well. Closing in on that second. 10 cents away from the second profit target. Pretty good on a ETF like XLU to be up almost 1%. That's great. Apps. This one's easy. Close below the 65. Close below the 5 EMA is easy. CMG just keeps going like crazy. Wow. I mean, I'm not complaining because I'm long this, but I mean, look at this. Close under 70. I'm at a half. Twitter down a little bit today, but holding the 50 RS or the 70 RSI. All right, everybody, here we go. We have a lot of stuff to look at. I'll do my best to get to the comments, but there's a lot of stuff we have to get through. Kamal wants to look at CSIQ. You know, I mean, it has a 520 crossover. Looks like it has a MACD crossover. This is all good. We rejected the previous high of the range over here. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly has the 50 EMA, 50 SMA above it. I don't know. It looks like momentum-y to me, Kamal. I probably wouldn't buy that, but a lot of crossovers get away from me just with that particular attitude as well. But you know, if it had broken out over this high, I'd feel a little better about it. But I'm torn on this one. And that's all I can say. You know, that's all I can say on this one. Steve says, I'm loaded up with 6 positions, so nothing new for me today until an index has a crossover DDM UDOW close to an entry signal. Dan says, I have a recurring scene of the Gossett dojo, Greg leading the class and Steve behind him, proudly watching. Kind, but when he moves, amazing. Awesome. Yeah, that's like, what's the show? Karate Kid one? Cobra Kai? All right, let's take a look. Here we go. Berkshire Hathaway did catch my eye today, and it finally had a close above the 5 EMA, or it looks like it's going to. Look, we haven't had a close above the 5 EMA since June 4th. We've been down below. Today we finally moved above it, which could indicate something is changing. Now, if I look over on the weekly, I don't like it. We have the weekly down bar, last week, big down bar. We rallied, we're, not quite to halfway. So yeah, maybe this has another $1.50 or $2 in it, but then on the weekly, we'll run into the 50 Fibonacci retracement of the down big bar. So I was explaining to someone earlier, how I look at those kind of things. So yes, on the daily, it looks good, but when I look over on the weekly, I don't like it. Beyond Meat looks like has a close over the 200-day moving average. We have tested this 200 many times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 times, 7 times. Weekly looks okay. I don't know. I don't think being above the 200 right now is all that impressive because we've been above the 200 many times and we've always got caught in this range. So I'm going to take Beyond Meat off of there. Home Depot does have a 520 crossover, but I did backtest this. It does not backtest well. It backtests negative. So that being said, I don't like it. XLF, I am looking at a short on XLF today. We are inside the range of the big down bar. We did rally. We're up above the 50 RS, the 50-day moving average and the 50 RSI. If this were to sell off at the end of the day and lose the 50 and the 50 SMA, I would consider shorting this. Not right this second. But I would consider shorting this based upon this. But right now it's above, so it's off limits. SO has a nice intraday rejection of the negative third ATR channel and a V1. Let's look over on the weekly. Big down bar last week. 100-day moving average above, so probably let that one go. AMT let's see, close 264.22, close 264.15. So this is a V2. This is a return to value, sideways motion, V2. It's a touch high in the channel, but it is a false breakout from the downside as well. The washout bar washed out the lows, V2. Let's take a look at the weekly and see what the weekly looks like. Weekly's way up there. It's pressing the third ATR channel. Not pressing it, but it's close there. We did bounce off the 5 EMA. It's legit. There's no doubt. It's legit. Starbucks has a 520 crossover. It does backtest well. The only thing I don't like about this is that we had to move a long way up to get that crossover to go. I like crossovers that are more sideways and then take off. But this one, just the fact that it's moved up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days has caused the crossover to happen, but it's already moved. I mean, my gosh, it's already moved 3%. It has rejected the 50 SMA, which is a bit of a bad sign. On the weekly, it's okay. It's okay on the weekly. Cisco, moving sideways there. Rejection 50, I don't see anything clear there. DKNG does have a 520 crossover that does back test well. We have that 100-day above. I mean, it's up nicely today, and that does back test well, but so let's see. HCA, we talked about HCA earlier. My only concern on HCA is if it's going to hold the 50 RSI. Weekly looks okay. Daily looks okay, but again, it would have to hold over the 50 RSI. Yeti, as Steve mentioned, does have a 520 crossover. APPH currently does have a 520 crossover. 1639, 1639. If they're the same and then they're equal, then that does count as a crossover. Let's look at the weekly. A lot of sideways motion, so yeah, there is a chance this could move up here. I don't like that we rejected the 200-day moving average though. LEGR looks like it has a 520 crossover. This one is way too big of a move for me to consider. So here we go. XLF, I would short this if it lost the 50-day moving average and the 50 RSI, but it has not. AMT does have a pretty decent return to value, V2. I just don't like the weekly up there at those levels. DKNG has a 520 crossover. HCA pretty good. It's lost the 50 RSI now though. AVA and APPH, 879,000 shares. Let me check real quick though on my weekly positions and see if I have to change and do anything here at the end of the week. No. Dash doing fantastic. Don't have to do anything with that. PKI is fine. VIX. I am going to have to watch VIX and sell VIX. Take the loss on VIX here if it closes under the 30, which likely it's going to. So I'll have to take the loss on that one. XLU making a high on the day. Get up there, baby. So close. 3 cents. Give me that profit target. Come on now. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Get up there. I mean, I think DraftKings is probably the cleanest trade with the very clear 520 crossover and the weekly being back up into the value zone and Rune move on the weekly. I think I am going to pass. I don't think I'm going to buy anything today. I think I'm going to get out of my queues, not my queues. I'm going to have to take the loss on the VIX, barring some miracle. But yeah, it's 29.90, so that's my queue right there. All right, so I did get out of VIX. Really, my favorite trade here is a short on XLF, but it is still above the 50 and the 50-day moving average. So, yeah, I don't think I'm going to take anything today, to be honest with you, everyone, other than my overnight SPY trade. See what Apple's doing today. Apple's down 22 cents. I will be buying Bitcoin today at 6 o'clock. That's when the bar closes. You can see we've come back. We've tested the 250-day moving average here. So at 6 o'clock, if it's still above the 250, I will keep it. We had the big up bar with the V1 halfway of the washout bar. Should add some support here at about 3,100 if the 250 doesn't hold. So I feel like the risk to reward on Bitcoin off of these levels makes sense to me anyway. And yeah, I think I'm just going to pass. I don't think I'm going to buy anything today. HCA is now above the 50. I did sell VIX. Come on, XLU. Come on, buddy. Two pennies away. Come on now. Come on now. One penny away. George says, a question regarding Nike. Is it reasonable to short it? You had mentioned that normally the market used to fill the gaps. Yeah, it does a lot, but that was a really strong move up, and it looks like it's closing. It's very high. I mean, the only trade I would make here would be a long position with a close below the low of the gap up day. This is the low. But I mean, you're at 81.94. I mean, you know, it's really stretching. And what's it going to get to 90? I just think the risk to reward here is better suited for a short, but I would not take the short. It looks way too strong. I would feel like that I'd be giving you, you know, I wouldn't short it. That's what I'm saying. I would not short it. Come on, we got to 64. I didn't hear the ding of the bell. So it just hasn't processed through. I need to get to 64.01 to process my trades. UNH has a 520 cross. I don't know if that back tests well. Let's test it. UNH 520 crossover. Let's test it. Oh, Amgen, that's right. Yeah, it does back test well, Ava. Wait, am I looking at the right thing? Oh, yes, UNH. Yeah, it does back test well, 371%. A little chasey. Has moved from very low to very high in order to make that 520 crossover count. I mean, look, it could go up further for sure. Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, it could go back up and test highs for sure. And it does backtest well. So from a mechanical standpoint, it does make sense, Ava. I don't like the big move to have to get this to go, but you know, certainly could continue up from there. Oh, XLF. Not quite under the 50 and the 50 RSI, but if it does, that's when I will take it. Four minutes to go, everybody. I'm still waiting for XLU to go up one more penny. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to turn that into a market order and get 1 penny less. What do you think about that? Okay. All right. All right. So we did hit the profit targets on XLU, the second one. XLU looking to lose the 50. If it does, I'm going to short it if I have time. Oh, just hit a profit target on CMG. HCA holding above the 50, Ava. Hit the second profit target on CMG. Wow. XLF above the 50 now, so two minutes to go. $29.22. Okay, 1 minute to go. CMG making a high on the day. XLF not closing below, so no change there. $15 seconds to go. XLU making a high. So again, not buying anything today other than the overnight SPY trade. Right, that's the end of the show, or maybe that's the end of the week anyway. Okay, so I did buy the overnight SPY trade at 426.61, and that's it. Pretty easy. $426.61, and that's it. That is it. So really great week trading. Wow, very grateful for that. Look, if any of my students have any new positions for me today, any new entries or exits, if you could please put them in the live stream right now. I will get to them in just a minute. We'll get them all updated. Just want to remind everybody that I do teach private one-on-one lessons in the evening time via Skype. I teach a really good class. It's 15 hours, just one-on-one, just you and I. I teach you everything that I've learned in my last 25 years of trading. I teach you all 5 of my trading approaches. I teach you step-by-step how to implement them, how to adjust for volatility, how to or look for volatility, how to adjust your position size for volatility, what your emergency stops are, what your maximum allowed losses, what your end-of-day stop is, your intraday profit targets, your overhead resistance levels, great trailing stop methodologies. So I teach you step by step all 5 of the approaches that I use. I've taught students all over the world. I've got really good results from them. I know you will be a better trader if you take this course. So if you are interested, please just send me an email. Email's in the description of this video. I will reach out to you and say, thanks for saying hi. Let's do a Skype call. The Skype call is free. I want to learn more about you, your trading challenges, your trading goals, what you're trying to achieve from possibly taking the course. It's a good time for you to ask me any questions about the course. And after our Skype call, think about it as long as you want. And if you decide one day, hey, today's the day I want to become a better trader, email me back and we'll get the lesson set up. Number 2, I do have a really good online course available on udemy.com. It's called the Deep Dip Buy Stocks Trading Strategy. I use it all the time. Some of my best trades come from that strategy. It's totally affordable. It's $12, $15 on udemy.com, and it's a solid video course. It's 9.5 hours, 26 videos, 15 study guides. And, I think one of the best things about taking that course is if you have any questions while you're taking it, just come here during the end of the day, ask me questions. I'm very, very happy to answer them. And then lastly, if you like today's podcast, I really would appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. Helps to build the channel, helps to keep the channel around, and lets YouTube know that there's some valuable content here. So if you found something valuable today, all I ask is that you hit the thumbs up button before you leave. All right, is that fair? Okay, BLNK. Oh, I did forget. I did, Jonathan. I probably should have taken half off there, and I did not. I forgot. Oh well. C'est la vie. That's how it goes. I mean, it's still technically, it did reject there. I guess I could look after hours and see whether or not what's happening there. 40-cent spread. I don't really think I can get involved in that, but you're right. Thank you, Jonathan. I should have looked at that earlier. Kamal is in CSIQ. 4034. At the 520. Steve says, I exited TER 2950 and I am long Angie. Okay. So we'll take out TER. Angie, we already have here, Steve. Let's see, Tracy and Paxton. I'm going to put Steve here with the 520 EMA cross and 1439. So a couple different entries in Angie. So I'll put this one down here so I know where everyone bought where. Okay. Gary reloaded DKNG to full position. So you did a reload, that makes sense. So we'll just take that off like that. ATEX says, looking forward to your next Udemy course. Yes, I will hopefully have one of those in the next year. I was so tired when I got done with everything. That was a lot of work to put those courses together. My gosh. I definitely will. I just don't know when. HCA. I'd really like to do a V1, V2 course because it's such a big part of my trading and a lot of people don't know about them. HCA. Half position for Frank. Okay, you got it, Frank. Good luck with that, bud. Paxton is out of a half a blink. That makes sense. I probably should have done that. Out of VIX, as am I. Yeah, VIX did not work out so well on that one, but can't win them all, I suppose. Out of ZIP. Do I have you in ZIP? I don't think I ever put you... Zip, 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 zip. I never had you in ZIP. You're in Yeti. That board's filling up, everybody. It's filling up. Okay, Yeti. 520 crossover with Packy. Okay. Good luck on that, Trace and Paxton. And in TER yesterday. Oh, I see. Okay, so TER is back in the board. Ava says, hope QSIQ works for you, Kamal. I hope so too. Gary says, have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you, Gary. You as well. Kamal says, thank you. Jonathan is out of a half a blink. Yeah, that was the right move. That was the right move. It just got past me. Sometimes when you do the podcast, there's a lot of things going on. You're looking at different screens and you're doing a lot of stuff. But yeah, I think that was 100% the right thing to do. I should have done that. Disney, did I not? Where is Disney? I know you had Disney. I don't know where it went. Oh. Oh, yeah, I did talk about it. Never mind. I think that's a good move with rejection of the 50 SMA up there. I think that is an excellent move. Wow, what a trading week, everybody. My gosh. This market is in fuego. Let's see what's happening after hours. Anything? VIX is up 15 cents. Wow. That mean the SPY's down? Yes, it does. All right. There's Steve's post, which was really good. Congratulations, Steve, on being number one on that list, but it's not surprising to me whatsoever. You completely deserve it. And here it is again. Top stock traders follow on Twitter. Number one, our good friend, Steve Burns. And please go to his site. Check out this link. I posted it above. All right, but what was I going to talk about? Just my normal by Martin Kornfeld. If we all do one random act of kindness daily, we just might set the world in the right direction. Not that hard, everybody. Just go out and do one nice thing for another human being today. Just go out and do one nice thing for an animal today. What's it going to hurt? It could really dramatically improve their life. They may be having a day that you would not even understand. It just one little act of kindness might just turn, might save them from jumping off the roof, right? You never know. You just never know. And maybe one day, if you need it, somebody will come along and do that random act of kindness, and it will be this whole circle of one person helping another person or helping an animal. So like to always leave off with that. Kamal says Yeti is a mug cooler company. Oh, that's where I've heard that before. They're public? Wow. Michael says, I'm showing in my notes that a rejection of the 65 RSI is to not sell any at that time, but sell at the next close below the 5 EMA. That's 100% right, Michael. If you ever get up to a 65 RSI reading, whether it's closing or even intraday, if it got up to 65 RSI, my protocol is when that happens, not to sell it, but if you then subsequently or after that closes below the 5 EMA, that is my trailing stop, and I get out of the entire position, Michael. So yes, you're 100% correct. Rejection of the 70 RSI says to sell half. 100% right. Whether it's a close over, close under, or just an intraday rejection of the 70, if it rejects the 70, I don't sell all of it, I sell half. Let's go to Twitter, right? Twitter rejected the 70 right here. But obviously I'm glad I did not sell all of it. I just sold half. I want to see a rejection to the upside, but I also want to see a rejection. I also want to see some weakness to the downside looking for the close. So half with the rejection to the upside I'll get out of, but if I get a close below the previous day's low, then that's rejection to the downside. So it's like double confirmation. That's why I only get out of half. Jonathan says, cheers, guys. Have a nice weekend. You as well, Jonathan. I miss our classes together. Paxton says, have a great weekend, everyone. You too, Packy. Kamal says, have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you, Kamal. Michael says, I'm showing on my chart that Blink rejected only the RSI. Yeah, I don't think it closed. It did get to 65. It did get to 65. Wait, yes, I wrote the notes here. Reach 65 RSI. Not here at the close, but at the high, it did. So therefore, if it closes below the 5 EMA, then I'll get out of everything. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. Whew. All right, well, that was a mouthful of words, right, for an hour and 14 minutes. So I hope everyone has a really good rest of your day. I hope you have a nice weekend. Go out, do something fun, get some air, get some exercise, maybe take a little nap, study some books, do a little chart study. Doesn't hurt. Always a good time to do chart study. I will be doing a little Bitcoin trading over the weekend if we get to the levels I was talking about. And right now it's down 8.68%. So it's 6 o'clock my time. If it rejects this 250-day moving average, I will go ahead and buy Bitcoin. If it loses the 200, if it closes below the 200, then I will not. I'll see how it reacts at the halfway of the washout bar, and if it holds there, then I'll probably switch to a smaller time frame and look for an intraday trade. So anyway, sorry for those of you that have Bitcoin here. This has been kind of brutal, but I did kind of say earlier I thought it was going to trade below the 200 and above the 250, and it did just that. And we'll see if that 250 can hold. If it does, then that gives a really good risk to reward ratio. But I have to visit that at 6 p.m. Ava says, thanks to all. Have a wonderful weekend. You as well, Ava. Congratulations on your trading, and always proud of you of how committed you are to becoming the best trader you can. Very proud of you, my friend. Michael says, sell half today on Blink. Are you talking Twitter? I think you're talking Blink. No, I would not sell half today. I'm just saying today, at the high of the day, it did get to 65 RSI. So now that it's at 65 RSI, I will go into trailing stop mode with the 5 EMA. So Monday, if it closed below the 5 EMA, then I would get out. So first it has to get to the 65. And once it gets to the 65, if it then now in the future closes below the 5 EMA, then I'll get out of everything. If it got to 61 and then closed below the 5 EMA, I would not get out of anything. It has to reach the 65 first. Kamal says, New Trader U has 374.9 thousand followers, and he follows 254. Nice one, Steve. That's the power move, right? When you've got almost 375,000 people that follow you, but you only follow 254. Well, I'm one of those that follows Steve, that's for sure. And Steve's one of the two. I'm in the 254, so that's good as well. All right, everybody. I think that's it. Have a good weekend. I appreciate you being here. If you could, if you like something today, I would appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't already, if you have, thank you very much. And I think we'll call it a day. I think we'll call it a week. And we'll all huddle back here on Monday, and we will do our thing again. So appreciate you being here, everyone. Take care now. Talk to you soon. Bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and Forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.